Hey guys, it's Zipic, and welcome back to another Rust video. In this one, we're going to be going over my Building 4.0 floor stacked triple bunker. It uses 2 new triangle stair bunkers, and also 1 stability bunker with a lack of raised foundations. The base is insanely strong, and it has enough space for approximately 4 to 8 players. Really quickly, before the base build starts, I want to say thank you to all the new subscribers and all the recent comments. I really appreciate all the support. If you like what you see and you want to watch more base builds, it's only 1 click to subscribe, and it really helps me out. With all that said, let's head right into the base tour. Passing through our airlock, we get a window to access our outside turret, and continuing on through the next garage door, we get a room with our repair bench and 2 small boxes. Past that, we get our first 4-box loot room, and also access to the roof. Notice that we can close the doors to the auto turret from the inside. Notice there's plenty of room on the top floor, plenty of space for helis, or if your team gathers up enough resources, you could also build in a shooting floor. Now heading back downstairs, we get access to our first bunker. We open it up by placing in a low wall on top of the stairs. We can then jump through our window frame and get access to the research table, 3 bags, and a large box. Through the next door, we have another 4-box loot room, and also a garage door to access our drop down. If the raider didn't go down through your roof access, the floor stacking will now be noticeable. However, any raiders will be stopped in their tracks after breaking through these 2 ladder hatches. Spawning inside, we can now break out the twig. You should notice that the stability bunker should not work because of the lack of raised foundations. However, because we use floor stacking, the foundations you see in the drop-down chute are different than the ones you see on the bunker floor. This means that the foundations are slightly elevated, and it's just enough to make sure that the bunker doesn't attach. Continuing on through the next garage door, we have access to yet another 4-box loot room and our 3rd and final bunker. Opening up the bunker, you'll notice we have 3 furnaces below, another 4-box loot room past the garage door, and opening up the last garage door, we have access to the TC and 5 more large boxes. The TC upkeep, which I feel is very manageable for a group base, is on the screen now. And with all of that said, let's get right into the base build. First of all, you have to understand how to floor stack. Start by crouching and placing your first triangle right after releasing shift. Now we will pick up our mouse off our desk and only use the keys A and D to make sure we don't change the player's orientation. We move to the left or right until we're able to place in another triangle which is not connected. Ensure you're able to place in the walls above the 2 triangles. We can now test the design by using triangle roof tiles. Note that there should be a small gap in between the elevation of the tiles. You should be able to place in the bottom tile first and then follow it by the top one. There are plenty of good tutorials on this, and I'll leave a video in the top right corner. For now, let's continue on to the next step. Place in the following V-shape of foundations to make our starter base. Before we begin upgrading, let's make sure we can place in walls on top of all the following foundations. If you can't, you'll need to restart from scratch. With everything looking good, we can now upgrade all our foundations to stone, and then we can begin to fit in all our walls. Start by placing in wooden door frames, and make sure these frames stay as wood, since we'll be picking them out later on. Now we can surround the base in stone walls. Don't forget that the build cost for the base will always be on the right side of the screen. Now that we have all our walls in place, we can now add in door frames in all of the following spots. And as I finish up the bottom floor of our starter, I want to give a quick disclaimer. Now quickly, I want to mention I'm on vacation right now, and this video has been pre-recorded, so I missed a few things with the strength and weaknesses of the base. So obviously there's going to be flaws, however, I really just wanted to put this video out there to get a video up. If you do choose to build the design, I would recommend hopping in a base build server very quickly and making it your own and adding your own applications that make it even better than mine is. So with all that said, let's get right back on to building the roof. Notice that I'm only building in the bottom layer for now. We're going to add in the top one afterwards. We're going to pick out the second roof of the airlock, so make sure that stays as wood. Now with our roof done, we can head back inside the base, add in a TC, doors, large boxes, furnaces, anything else you guys would need to finish off the design. The build cost is now on the screen. Let's get right on to starter version 2. Begin by picking out all of our wooden walls and roofs in the base design. We're now going to complete the chute, and I should mention we're going to upgrade everything to its final grade from here on out. So if you guys don't have the HQM, you guys can just upgrade things to metal, but you should attempt to upgrade them as you get more HQM throughout the wipe. And of course, if your foundations are raised like mine are, you should attempt to upgrade them also to HQM. With our bunker finished, we can now save all of our HQM for either guns or the TC upkeep. Let's go ahead and build a temporary way up to our roof for now, which we can break out later on, so keep this only as twig. We're now going to build in all of our surrounding foundations. Start on our hollowed out triangle next to the drop down and follow the pattern I do as I complete the base. Don't worry if you get lost while following along, there will be a bird's eye view image of the base afterwards. And now let's remove all the outer foundations that don't touch any of the bunker. Here's what your base should look like so far. Now we will upgrade all of these foundations to stone. Don't forget, if your base is elevated like mine is, you should attempt to upgrade these to metal throughout the wipe. Now we're going to cover up any HQM with metal walls. This will guarantee the 27 rocket raid cost to our TC or any side of the bunker. I also added in a little bit of stone honeycomb, but don't worry, you can still fill this in later on. And here is the final build cost for that step of the base. We're now going to go around the entire base design, filling in all of the triangle honeycomb. Don't worry about the squares just yet, since we'll be using the roof tiles for that later on. We're now going to head up to the top floor and build in all of our roof pieces. Make sure the top of the roof is facing towards the metal wall. Ensure you're keeping an eye on the soft side of walls to make sure they're not facing towards the outside. After upgrading the entire outside to stone, you should end up with 6 roof pieces surrounding the base. We can now work on the second floor. Let's start off by finishing up the drop down chute. Note that you might have difficulty placing in some walls up here. I found that looking either up or down usually helps. Next up, let's go around all of our honeycomb and fill in the bottom layer of the floor. Obviously, the honeycomb on the outside cannot be floor stacked, so don't worry about that too much. That can only be upgraded to stone. For now, let's finish up our drop down chute by adding in 2 metal layers. Then we can head over to where our front door will be, and we'll begin working over there. Don't forget to add in the auto turret pod. If you don't have reinforced glass windows, you can either use single or double doors. Because of the floor stacking, the roof access is a little bit more difficult to build. However, just follow the tutorial I made for you here, and you'll have no problems making it yourself. After building in our second auto turret pod, we can now continue on with the honeycomb throughout the base. We can also add in our second layer of floor before sealing, since it won't interfere with any more of our honeycomb. Let's also finish off our second floor roof access. If you come across an extra auto turret, shotgun trap, or flame turret, you should attempt to put it underneath your roof access to avoid getting deeped. And now we can add in our last auto turret pod. Don't forget you will not be able to access it from the inside because it will cause weakness to our base. Repeat the same steps you did with the other loot room, adding in the second layer of stone floor before you seal off the honeycomb. Now we can add in the top layer all around our second floor of the base. Also, we can add in our double ladder hatch frames for our bunker. You can upgrade all of the main layers in our second floor to metal, and the ones near the airlock can just go to stone. We can then head upstairs and finish up the rest of the honeycomb. Then we'll begin working on the first floor of the roof. We can also finish up the roof access drop down. Upgrade all of the roof pieces above our starter foundations to metal. And of course follow the same pattern for the second layer on top. With most of our base finished, we can now add in single doors, reinforced glass windows, shotgun traps, and more garage doors around the base. Something very important to note is that to place in the top floor garage doors, you're going to need to go down to the bunker and place them in through the roof. We can now break out the twig we used to get to our second floor, add in ladder hatches, and build in our stability bunker. We can also add in our stairs bunker down below next to our TC. We're going to place furnaces in the empty slot. Then we can use a triangle floor piece to place through the wall to make more space in our TC loot room. We can now begin placing in all of our boxes in our loot rooms. Follow this pattern to build your 4-box loot rooms throughout the base. To save some time, I'm going to skip through placing all of the boxes and just show you guys the end results. We're going to add in the tier 3 in the next room as well as 2 small boxes, and then we can add in our 3 bags. Make sure you're still able to place in the twig half wall to seal off the bunker. Now heading back upstairs, we're going to build in our second stair bunker. You're going to have to place in the window frame from underneath since the second layer of floor will be blocking it. Next to the drop down chute we can place another 4 boxes, and next to that we can place our research table, another large box, and 3 more bags. If you're having trouble getting through the window frames, you can use small boxes right in front, and that way you don't have to do the crouch jump to get through. Heading into our last loot room, we can place 4 large boxes and a repair bench with 2 small boxes underneath. Feel free to add more large boxes, bags, lockers, or furnaces wherever you want in the base. Don't forget to add in the outer turrets and garage doors. With all that said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.